All right, episode 173, the Ice Edition. We have star of A&E zombie house flipping Chauncey Pham on today, and we've got an exciting announcement. We're going to go ahead and get started right now. Or now. Or maybe right now. All right, episode 173. We are doing it from home today because Texas, at least the North Texas area, shut down yet again for ice. Just got word. We got all this ice and cold weather in last Tuesday. Just got word in that school was canceled. It was canceled Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we got to deal with this at least one more day. But look, we're super excited. We have on a returning guest. We have Chauncey Pham on, and super excited about having her return because she and her husband, Derek, are the new stars of A&E television shows, Zombie House Flipping, where they take the worst of the worst properties, bring them into pristine condition, and sell them for a massive profit. And here, if you tune in and stay tuned in, we've got an exciting announcement about the podcast. But we first have to thank our sponsors. Number one in our hearts and our minds is the Mortgage Mike team. In fact, I'm repping this right here, the Mortgage Mike group. If you're looking for that Mortgage Mike stamp of approval, getting those loans approved, making sure that your clients are taken care of, making you look like a rock star real estate agent in front of your clients. When look, right now, loans, they're going okay. Maybe not so great. I'm hearing a lot of lenders are starting to ghost their agents and clients. The Mortgage Mike group won't do that. They'll give you that Mortgage Mike stamp of approval. Just go to mortgagemikeoftexas.com. As well as once you're doing that, when you're writing that contract, you're going to want to get them that perfect home warranty, that hard shell protection from Armadillo Home Warranty. So go over to armadillo.one/TOR, TORE, connect with Theron Smith there and get them that great home warranty. And last but not least is our amazing property management company and property manager, Dana Wynn. We've got Dana running Homeward DFW Property Management. So just go to homewarddfw.com, send them all your referrals. She was just telling me right now she's got 21 more to go to hit her goal before June. So we're looking for 21 more referrals. So let's go ahead and bring everyone in and welcome everyone to the show.
What's up?
What up?
Of not being able to see Jesse has just been so much fun already, dude. Nick just stalling out on the intro, like sitting there silently for 15 seconds. This has been a blast already.
I'm having terrible audio issues, so I'm just going to mute myself and y'all just do your thing.
I didn't stall out. It was ready to go. I was just
no,
like,
it wasn't you. It wasn't you. There's just no eye contact because he's not in the room. It was just didn't know.
I wish the camera had been on me during that because I was dying laughing. I was just rolling here.
I'm going to tell you right now, when I was doing our sponsor intros, because I didn't see it coming up on the screen at all, I was like, wait, maybe they're just laying out me. Maybe I'm the only one here. I don't even know. So maybe it's the star of my own television
can y'all
show.
Hear? I can't hear Nick.
Yeah, we can. Everybody, we can hear Nick just fine. I think you got some issues over there. Are we even live on Facebook?
I know that Theron's there. So, but let's welcome in Chauncey. I mean, we were backstage. We were. Man, we can't call it joking around, Chauncey. You can't say that. But every time that we have her on the show, something's going on.
It's the damn apocalypse every time.
It is. So the last time we had her on the show, it was our last appearance right before COVID shut everything down. And that, in fact, I believe that may have been our last episode with Derek and at the old studio.
Yep.
I think it was.
Yeah. And so now we've got.
That was when COVID was new. It was before COVID was winning.
Yeah.
That's right. And then we've been trying to get this nailed down here for the last couple of weeks. I got sick. Maybe it was COVID, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I didn't test on it. And then we pushed it. And then it was supposed to happen this week. And of course, now we've got all the ice and the sleet. So we're doing this from home edition.
I always get the janky ass setup, but I got this. We got this, y'all.
First off, the first one wasn't janky. The first one we just had COVID. We like that was the great. That was in studio.
Super janky. What are we talking about?
Yeah, COVID was super janky, and then Matt tried to hug me, and I got really freaked out because I thought I was gonna die. And
the funny thing about that is, like, I'm not even really sure Chauncey and I are hugging friends. I don't know what made me go in for the hug. I don't know if I've ever hugged Chauncey before. But all of a sudden, I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, a virus I want you to meet. Like, let's hug, right? Like,
You're not even a dude that hugs, really.
it's like
Thank you guys for having me
I don't
again
know what to do with my
during
hands.
another apocalypse.
Yeah.
During
So
another apocalypse.
we have Chauncey to we have Chauncey to thank for all of this. That's exactly fair, and everything's Chauncey's fault. But Chauncey, like since the last times over now almost 2.5, 3 years. So 3 years ago, I mean, a lot's to change. You and your husband Derek have now we're one episode in, because that was the goal, was to try to get it before the premiere of y'all starring on A&E Zombie House Flipping. Kind of walk us through what that show's about, and then what you guys are doing.
Oh man, we're doing a little bit of everything. So Zombie House Flipping essentially was like A&E's first home show that they had roll out. It's been on for 4 seasons. We're now in the 5th season, and it started out in Orlando. And the whole premise behind the show is like, these are just really bad houses. These aren't your ordinary, your ordinary houses that have a little bit of deferred maintenance. Like, they're bad. You got dead rats and rodents and ghosts and goblins and all the things. And that's kind of what we do, is we pick up some pretty bad houses, typically sight unseen, and they're just kind of documenting our process. And it's been a pretty cool journey so far. We started filming back in June of 2022. And so during this time, we've been filming multiple houses. And so episodes are starting to roll out, but it's a very unique show because it has 3 cities. It's got Tampa, Orlando, and Dallas. All of the cities for season 5 have 20 to 24 episodes. So that's 20 to 24 houses that each of the cities are going to do. And they're just releasing them in 3 episode blocks. So you guys will be able to see me this past Saturday, this coming Saturday, and then the next Saturday. And then it'll roll to another city for 3 weeks, then to another city, and then back to Dallas. And it'll do that until we have all of our episodes. So y'all won't see me on TV for a while.
I like that. Do we? I mean, I know we're doing this a little. We normally can make eye contact with each other, do this way. I know we have some, so I don't want Jesse to have to pop them up. But I know I haven't even seen the videos of it yet. I got to see like everybody celebrating you the other day, but we had kids everywhere, so I didn't get to see it. So I don't know if Jesse has like the video stuff, but can we?
Jesse, throw it up if you got it.
What's up, Chauncey?
Hi, I'm Chauncey Pham, and they call me the boss.
I'm thinking we can push about $425,000 with this primary suite.
The trick to real estate is buying the worst house in the best neighborhood. But zombie houses are a whole different beast. In Dallas, Texas, my husband and I are the best at flipping them.
That price is way too high for that damn house. Do we actually get to see this one, though?
We can actually head that way now.
Ooh.
I'm Derek Pham, the man behind the master plan and the money guy. I'm known for the Derek Special, which means buying the worst zombies, sight unseen, for rock bottom prices.
Bullet holes. My type of house. I mean, it's got some good bones.
No, Derek.
Dallas is a hot real estate market with fierce competition.
This looks amazing.
This was money well spent.
And as a husband and wife team, we broke the mold on flipping zombies with high-end appeal to create Family Capital Partners, a multi-million-dollar business. And no matter how bad the flip is, we design and sell them for Texas-sized profits. This is Zombie House Flipping Dallas, y'all.
It's a new season of Zombie House Flipping. New episode Saturday morning at 11. Part of Homemade Nation on A&E.
What?
The best part of that is we got a y'all from Chauncey at the end.
Yes. Oh, when she sent me that, and I had sent her a voice recording back that I was like, y'all.
The best
never
part
heard
about
of
if you're a top producing agent, maybe you even had somebody call you and maybe even sat down at like your brokerage where they send in some B-level intern to come in and like kind of weed out the talent for this. Like if you go to State Fair and like, oh, let's go try out for American Idol, bro. Like Simon Cowell's not in there. Like Chauncey made it through whatever all of that was. And I'm sure the fact that you speak on stages and stuff brought this opportunity. But like I've one time tried to do this and went in and like read for 10 seconds and opted out because I was like, there's no way. I see you doing it. I'm like, she looks so natural. Like that just looks like how she moves around. I'm like, I've been so awkward doing that.
No, I got used to it, man. They actually found me on Instagram. They found me on social media. So I'm always preaching to agents, really anyone in any business setting. Like being the best at what you do doesn't matter. Being the best marketer is what matters. There's tons of flippers out here that do a lot more volume than me, that do, hell, probably a lot better job, a lot higher end product than what we do. But I marketed myself to high hell, whether it was on the retail real estate side, on the investment side, and they literally found me on my social media. So I actually was signed to some production companies twice before this opportunity came. And funny story, I had been signed twice with production companies, but there weren't official shows. Actually, the last time I was on y'all's show, I was signed with a production company. I just couldn't talk about it. And they just couldn't pitch a show to a network that would get picked up. So once I got released from that last one, then I got a call from the talent from this production agency, from the casting director or whatever. And I literally ignored him, y'all. He sent me an email. He called me, left me a voicemail. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I'm tired of these damn people like reaching out to me. Like it's not like nothing's going to happen anyway. And finally he got me on the phone and he was like, no, like this is different. This is an established show. And we're just like casting for a different city. And so we went through the casting process from like November of 2021 until January of 2022. And then we found out that we had been cast in February of 2022, did a 3-month background check process, and made it through that in like April or May of 2022 and started filming in June. So we didn't really have to like go and do any reads or anything like that. They'd already just found me online. They'd already saw kind of, what type of work we did, what our flips look like. And they just had to make sure I didn't have any like creepy ass background. And when they found out I didn't, they were like, let's go.
That is amazing. And I knew that you had similar opportunities like this in the past. So it's awesome to see this one come to fruition. And we're going to dive into like all of it. And I want to hear every part of the journey. And knowing you, we've been knowing each other for a long time. I got to ask some basic questions up front because now we're on TV, right? Like, how hard is it with your potty mouth to not say fuck on camera when you're flipping houses? It's got to be the worst. It's just like, I can never be on these shows because you got to be on your best behavior. It's got to be so difficult.
No, I definitely say it, and it works because the network that I'm on is A&E. They tend to like talent and like the people that are on their shows to be a little bit rougher around the edges and real.
That's fair.
And I told them from the beginning, like, I'm real. Like, what you see is what you get. I'm not pretending to be anybody else. I'm not saying any weird shit. So they kind of rolled with it, and anything that gets too out of hand, then they they'll bleep it out or they cut it. Yeah. It just doesn't make the cutting room floor.
How much? Hysterical. I mean. There's so much that we could do on this because first off, you got to this because of your Instagram, your social media, and your videos and everything else, right? So, right. I mean that probably is a story in itself, and probably you could probably start selling some lessons on that.
Well, could I jump in here, Nick? Because I was actually trying to explain how I met Chauncey to Victoria earlier at lunch, like. What were you attempting to do with that Connect for Real campaign, right? Because that's when you and I met. And that was when you were still doing your own brokerage thing before you had joined the opportunities you have now and like the networks you have now. Like that was the first time, and you were already established before then, but that was the first time I remember like seeing you and hearing about you. Like what was your initiative? Because we all have these social media initiatives that go nowhere, right? Like right. Brian had his coffees with closers and things like that. Like what were you attempting to do there?
With Connect for Real, my goal was because I was so active on social media, I had connected with a lot of people online, and it dawned on me that I'd never connected with them for real. And that was literally it. So I went in with the intention of not doing much more than just getting to know people, having conversations with them, doing like real write-ups and like taking pictures with them and almost creating a movement. Because I felt like in real estate, we kind of gotten stuck in this online world and nobody was really meeting each other in person. We always kind of act really like gang with who our brokerage is instead of like reaching across brokerage lines and conversing with people from different brokerages. And I just wanted to like break down all of those barriers. So I legitimately did not have an ulterior motive other than like connecting with people for real. And like, it turned out to be good.
The cool thing about it was, no, go ahead, Nick. I was just saying the cool thing about it was just, there was no reason to do it with agents in your market, and you did that anyways. And I just see where you're at now, and I see how like you just consistently being you over all that time has just worked out. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's how I connected, right? You ran up to me at a Real Producers event, and you know, you had a camera in your hand. You're like, hey, and I'm like, whoa, like it. And you know, and the only time before, actually, I didn't know who you were. My brother did, but you know, because you had tried to buy one of our houses that we had flipped. And so, you know, that was, you know, when you really break it down and unpack it, I mean, that was the start of a lot of the stuff you were doing, right? It was your YouTube vlogs that then allowed you to get into more opportunity. I'm sure that those vlogs, if you go back and look at it, maybe some of them like, man, what was I doing? What was I thinking? But you just spoke real, like it wasn't fake. It wasn't fake it till you make it. And then, you know, fast forward today, you know, you partner with hundreds of agents and you're flipping, you know, a ton of houses, and now you have to flip a ton more. So what does it look like, you know, once you took this opportunity? I'm sure it was exciting, but what's the scary part about it? Because everyone's going to think of the glitz and glam about it, but they're not going to understand how much work and then the really scary parts of this.
Right. The scary part is the financial risk. We had a very specific business plan. Derek is the money guy. Derek is like our acquisition specialist. Like, honestly, he's like the brains behind the machine. I just got a big ass mouth. So I'm who everyone sees. But ultimately, the way that he set everything up was we were doing fewer but higher margin deals. So all of our deals were bringing in, you know, 6 figures. We just did not touch a deal that unless after it was all said and done, like we put in our pocket, not the revenue and cash back on the deal when it closed, but like profits were 6 figures on these houses. But obviously those houses took a lot longer to flip. And so when this opportunity came, and with the production boundaries that are there and restrictions, we had to flip faster. So then that means that you got to acquire a lot more houses. Those houses may have, you know, a lot smaller margins. So really the scariest part was the financial exposure to it, and really changing the way that fundamentally we had built a really successful and profitable business. Because now, instead of doing 10 houses that make me $150,000 a house, now I got to do 25 or 30 houses that might make me $30,000 or $40,000. But then that leaves me a lot more exposed financially. And if anything goes wrong, then like it could really be a problem. So I would say that that has been the scariest part of it, but ultimately it's making us better, and we're adapting kind of to this new business model pretty well.
And how much, again, let's keep going in the scary parts. How much work is this, right? They see, you know, they see the 1 hour episode. And look, it looks like you're having fun. You're talking shit on camera. You're buying the shit of the shit houses. You know, you're trying to overspend Derek's money. And so, you know, what is in order to get one episode out, what is that work requirement from y'all?
Oh my God, it's a lot, man. The typical day, just a day, we typically arrive on set 9 to 10 in the morning. We wrap around 1 o'clock, and then straight from there, you know, we're going to get kids, and then we're having to do our other business work after that. And that goes on for months, typically 3 to 4 days a week for 3 to 4 months just to get one episode. And we were doing multiple episodes. Like right now, we're literally filming like 6 episodes as we speak. And so we're doing that because every day, every house is at a different stage. And so we're having to follow what's going on at these houses. But then, you know, in addition to the television part, like this is an actual real business. So we have to manage, you know, the projects that are going on. Like it is a lot. It's a big undertaking.
And so, all right, now you've got to ramp up. You were doing 10 houses, call it 10 houses a year. You're averaging 125 to 150,000 in profit. Now you've got to do more houses.
Right.
How do you ramp up to go find and identify and then ultimately get in contract with houses that are going to fit, you know, 1 for the show and 2 fit something that you guys are comfortable flipping in?
We definitely turned to some wholesalers in the beginning of it. That's the fastest, easiest way to go to some reputable wholesalers that have some decent deals out there. Since we weren't looking for such large margin deals, we didn't really need to go straight to the seller for those. So that was one way. But then another is our reputation kind of, was there to where we get a lot of referral deals. So we have a lot of agents, a lot of wholesalers, people that are just constantly bringing us deals, even just people that may have friends or family members that are in a position. And so I would say 90% of our deals now, though, are coming direct to seller via referrals. And once you start, again, marketing yourself and talking about what you do, then the business will obviously come. And that's kind of, what has happened to us with getting the leads.
And so now it's referral side of things. How are you guys managing all this? Because I've got one flip going on and trying to do everything else. I'm like, just trying to manage it all. How do you do that? How are you staying sane?
I'm not. I'm not. But I also think that it's important to understand that you can't do everything great, and I'm okay with that. If I'm excelling at television right now and I'm excelling on the flip side of my business, then there are going to be other sides of my business and other parts of my life that might suffer. And I think a big part of this was mindset and being the perfectionist that I am. I had to get over that. I had to understand that I'm not going to be able to go and film and get up every day and do the lead gen that's necessary and bring agents into the group and have conversations one-on-one with every agent that's underneath me and love on them like they need to be loved on, and love on my kids like they need to be loved on, and cook dinner every single night, and make my husband happy every single day. I had to understand that in this season of my life, that this is what I want my priority to be, go all in on that. And then from there, hopefully the exposure will give me the money and the time freedom to then go and excel at the other parts of my life. And that's the only thing that keeps me sane, is that I'm okay with not being a boss at everything, but I'm a boss at this shit right now.
I know, because I saw the chat blow up at the same time I started getting goosebumps in your response.
Yeah.
Because it took them that long to respond. And I think people need to hear that. And you articulate it so well. And I'd love for you to go on more, that there is just seasons where you are not going to be able to do all the things that your mind tells you want to do. What is it? And look, I hope you can articulate this, because I can't. What is it for you that allowed you to have that recognition? Because you are a hard charger. You are a perfectionist. And I think some people hide behind that perfectionist to actually not get shit done. They're like, I got to have it perfect before I even move. Right. And they actually hide behind that thing, making it sound like, I'm a perfectionist. You wouldn't get it. And it's like, right? How do you move from that idea to actually being able to move into action? Because those are two separate things.
That's a hard question. I don't know. I think that maybe my perfection, the fact that I do want to be a perfectionist, has driven me on that way. I just know that it's important to pick what I need to be perfect at. And I knew that with the television world, that could probably bring me the most exposure, that then could blow up the other parts of my business. And so if I can be perfect at this and I can run this, then everything else will kind of work itself out. So I really think that it's about choosing priorities, and really looking at everything that you've got going and all the different buckets that are working, and then see which one of those buckets will allow you to really be your perfect self, that then can, expose you to, better things for the other smaller things that you're doing. I mean, I guess that's the best way that I can articulate it. I just felt like TV was the biggest opportunity for me to be good and be perfect and make people love me, and then all the other shit will fall in line.
That's what I think you articulated perfectly. And Kristen just said in the chat, the season part is key. We get so caught up as business owners and people who are trying to grow that we don't realize that there's a list of things that you get to later. And I've been a very, very distant viewer of your growth, but have also been able to see the key points and realize there was probably shit on your list 4 or 5 years ago that is coming to fruition now because the season for it is right? And you had to do some other things to get there. And I know that exists for Brian and I know it exists for Nick. And I think that's such a cool thing that I hope people heard from that, was just, this has been on your radar for a long time, enough for you to know that the TV thing was bullshit with some other situations. And now the season for it is right. And allows me to put some of those in the back burner.
Now looking at it, I know that the universe has its timing, and not to get all weird with God and the universe, but legit, if I would have gotten this opportunity back in 2017, 2018, when I originally signed with a production company, my business would have gone under, because this is a huge undertaking with time. And because it takes so much time doing the filming and just running the flipping side of the business, then I wouldn't have had time to sell any houses really. But what this time and the universe knowing that this was my season was allowing me to have time to build up my revenue share group, to get a bunch of agents underneath me, to grow a good solid following, to be able to sell digital products and be able to have this little egg of residual income that's coming in, while then I can go over here and focus on these other things and not have to worry about the money over here. And so divine timing is really big, and trusting the process, y'all. Not getting so caught up in what you want, but just going through the process and trusting that what's supposed to happen is going to happen when it needs to, is really, really big for me. So I definitely try to stop pushing things, and try to stop putting square pegs in round holes. And that's when things have started rolling well for me.
Yeah. Eric Thomas says it and we have Asher say this every day when we drop him off at school is don't rush the process, trust the process. Right. And so you went through, really what you're saying is you just were really patient from that delayed gratification. Because even going through this, you started filming when?
June
of 2022.
Yep.
And now the first episode premiered January. What was it?
January 28th.
Yeah, January 28th. So June to July, and you're going through the stresses. You're buying houses. You're taking on debt until they sell.
Yep.
There's probably at least once where you're questioning, is this worth it?
Oh yeah.
And I mean, how many times have you questioned, is this worth it?
Once a week.
Once a week.
Like today or like?
This is a whole different ball game. Like it's a whole different ball game, and but it's a long game, right? It's a long-term play, and I think that that's an important lesson that I learned from this, is not sacrificing what can come in the future because I can't get what I want right now. So the first episode aired, like my Instagram didn't blow up, my YouTube didn't blow. I didn't all of a sudden now have 100,000 followers and all of that, but what I know can happen if I wrangle and leverage this opportunity can be bigger than anything that I could be getting right now and just doing what I would normally be doing every day to get a paycheck tomorrow, right? And so I think it's very important for us to understand that sometimes we just got to sacrifice short-term wants for some long-term things that we actually need.
Isn't that what we do in our businesses anyway?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, most of us.
Yeah. I mean, if you really look at it, this is what we preach to agents. This is what we preach to our team. This is what we preach to ourselves, is that, there's, you're going to have to bypass your current wants in order to get to the end results that you've set, the dreams and goals and visions that you have.
Yep.
So
there's like so many. I'm sorry to cut you out. It's this delay. It's just crushing me. No, there's so many good lessons in there. What I love about these stories, what I love about Chauncey's story, is that it's very unique to her and her journey, and the core fundamentals are kind of the same, like you just said, Nick, that we kind of always preach. Like I pick up on two key things when I hear Chauncey tell her story. One, we've all known Chauncey for way longer than she's been involved with production companies or the show or whatever. We've also known her as a very consistent creator of content in her business and a person that always brings value in that way, even when A&E wasn't even on the horizon. It was just something that she did, right? Like if you had asked Chauncey 5 years ago why she was working so hard on her YouTube vlogs, the answer wouldn't have been so I could be on Zombie House Flippers in 5 years, right? It was just what she did for her business, right? And she was consistent about it every day. And the other thing she does really well is, like, we talk about perfectionism. We want to be perfect in the right ways. We also want to take action. Like Chauncey's early shit is probably not nearly as good as the stuff that she puts out now, but she was incredibly dedicated, the same way that whatever your avenues are going to be, you're not going to be perfect in the beginning. You need to be really, really, really consistent. And the other thing that I pick up on, we talk tactically, we try to make these things as tactical as we can sometimes. Like, you're taking a big risk right now in your business because you have to do more deals than you're used to. on the investment side, that's maybe some of the best advice you could actually give people. Like the way your flipping business has been set up for a very long time, you've made a habit of saying no to bad deals that because you don't have that draw of like, I just need the action. I just need the deals. Like, and if you're a new investor, especially getting into flipping and stuff like that, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is doing deals for deal's sake. It will crush you every single time. Make sure the deals you do are so like this is what and I've learned this from Nick because Nick and I butt heads on this stuff. So like Nick is the biggest no man in the world. And when he and I are trying to do a deal together, Nick and I are doing a big deal together right now. And it is like pulling teeth to get him to say yes. And we finally, like, if I can convince Nick Good to do a deal, I am so confident that the downside is protected. It's unbelievable. But he's made a living saying no to the right thing. You'll make more money off the deals you say no to than the deals you say yes to, like, every single time. And you've made a habit of that. So like, that's just good tactical advice for people looking to get like into flipping and doing what Chauncey does. Like, don't do deals for deal's sake. Shit goes wrong. And when it goes wrong on a slim deal, you're fucked. Like, for real.
Yep. 100%.
Little
that was all I have.
Oh, well, I'm waiting on your delayed response on other things, Brian. We're trying to respect that here.
I'm disappointed nobody realized I missed my switched over to my coffee with closers mugs.
I mean, look, you could have been the new star of zombie house flipping if you just would have followed through with the coffee with closers.
Yeah.
But here's whatever I was doing was consistent back then. It didn't end up being coffee with closers, but now we're on this amazing podcast we've been doing for 5 years.
Yep.
Nick Good was my first guest on Coffee with Closers all those years ago.
You were consistent. You were consistent with filming, but I don't think you put it out. So you were consistent with not promotion.
That is true. It was the wrong season for me.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't look. Kind of fill us in on some more of this, Chauncey. I don't know where to take this deeper because one, we know you really, really well, and two is that, I mean, you've really said it is that. The consistency part here is key. So, when we break down any businesses that you're going to start, if you're going to jump into a business, if you're going to jump into the real estate business or the flipping business right now, I mean, actually it's, like Brian said, I like to say no to things, but flipping in this environment is tough.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Again, you're taking on, this is you guys, you and Derek are liable for this.
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys are in so much debt right now.
Mm-hmm.
That if the economy keeps, if the economy didn't bode very well and you bought it wrong, I mean, you guys are screwed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I mean, like legit, and that's how most flippers, are operating. And for us, even the crazier part is we started doing these acquisitions when the market was still like hot in June, July. And then like it was like the phone just stopped ringing and buyers just like disappeared and went away. And so while we bought at a certain number, expecting a certain ARV when the projects were done, by the time they're done, that ain't the ARV anymore. And because all of the buyers are gone. So now it's not multiple offers anymore. So it was definitely scary. So I would also say, a piece of advice is while, you may go into some of these deals with a particular exit strategy in mind, you can't do it broke. You got to be able to sit still if that's what it requires and hang on to these houses until maybe the market rebounds, because what goes down must go back up. And so that's kind of where we are now. And now it's lots of activity, like things are really picking back up. We're seeing multiple offers again. But if we jumped into this and we weren't able to sustain ourselves, like it could be a really big issue. So I would say, that's a big one too, because I see a lot of people reach out to me like, I want to start flipping houses and I read that you can do it with no money. Like, it's not true. All lies. Like, stop it. Get off of YouTube. That's not how this works. You gotta have some fucking money because anything can happen with the project, but then with the economy, external factors beyond just the project. And you got to be able to pivot and make sure that your business can stay afloat. And I think because we set ourselves up the way that we did previously, with the higher margin deals, then like, we're good. We've had some like shit your pants moments, but like all in all, like we're good.
I love that so much. Can we like just thank you for saying everything you've been saying, but that like
shit in your
line
pants. I mean,
yeah, that line specifically. No, I mean it's part about like just why do we get so addicted to this idea of like this guru mentality of like flipping houses with no money. We're all going to be millionaires in 3 months, and we are like, we have no net worth right now. Like, isn't it okay to say like, hey, if I want to get into real estate investing at a high level, I probably need to be financially responsible for a while and have a nest egg and like do things right? Like, does that mean to say, why do we have this guru mentality? Like, honestly, it doesn't matter if you're homeless and you have no money. Like, you can become a millionaire by March by flipping houses if you read my book and buy my course. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying like it takes time. There are levels to this. Like, is
Yeah.
it wrong to say there are levels to this?
It is not wrong at all. And I say it all the time. As soon as somebody comes to me and they're like, I want to flip houses, but I don't have any money. Well, you can't flip houses. Let's figure out something else you can do. And then
Yeah, and
maybe
like, by the way, you can make money really fast by like working really hard and like, you know what I mean? Like, like the way that I got to flip my first house is I wholesale deals when I was 19 years old. I didn't have any money. I was a college kid, but I had like a few $5,000 assignment fees, and then I partnered with my dad to do our first flip, and I was able to bring some money to the table. But that took me driving around Oak Cliff at 2 a.m. putting bandit signs out, right? like there was some work that had to be.
It is. So no, but we're really excited because what I'm really hoping to kind of bring to the television screen is not just like the glamorous side of it. You see a lot of the glamorous side of like the flipping shows, but like we really want to show the nitty-gritty and just authentically be ourselves, and I'm hoping that bodes well with the audience. They're either gonna love me or they're gonna hate me. So we'll see.
I am curious about. Oh, so sorry, Nick. I'll let you, but while this is in my head, I do have this one, like, because you have a partner. All three of us are partners in different business ventures and some of the same business ventures. You and Derek, who makes the decisions when you guys disagree? And I'm sure there's lanes, right?
Mhm.
But like two very strong personalities who are also very good at what they do. How do y'all decide that shit? Because when it comes to zombie flipping, there's like a big amount of decisions that need to be made on some sketchy properties.
I'm gonna say that anything that has to do with design and all of that, like Derek doesn't touch that. He doesn't mess with that. But I will try to be like, oh, we can get this $24.99 a square foot tile because then I'm going to be able to sell it for more. And Derek will nix that shit. So money wise, Derek is definitely the decision maker. And Derek also has a gift for reading people, for reading deals, for almost like he sits back, he's quiet. I'm the loud one. He sits back and he sees everything that's going on, almost like a chessboard. And so he knows what's going to happen before it even happens. So honestly, I trust his decision making a lot more when it comes to the money side of things, and I trust myself. And then I'm just here to kind of make things pretty. So we're being honest, like he wear the pants, but don't tell him I said that.
But did you see the stack of money he has? I mean, geez, he carries around that stack everywhere.
He's like Floyd Mayweather. He walks around with his backpack.
Stacks and champagnes. That's what Derek do. So real quick, Kristen, our mortgage partners, mortgagemikeoftexas.com. He's the best one out there. If you're looking for it, you can connect with Chauncey, to really set up, some goals. And I don't know if you're in real estate or not. So you can connect with us or Chauncey from your goal setting for your long-term goals for retirement. But how do you, and this is something that, because, I was fortunate enough to be able to go to the premiere last Saturday with you guys. And one of the major feedback that when we were just walking out is that, I mean, your personality shines through, right? So it's like what you see is what you get. It didn't feel like, oh, that's fake fam. And you could just hear it was realness. And a lot of people, when they get in front of the camera, they just all of a sudden their voice turns. It gets like robot voice and no emotions. They just get stiff and their hands just kind of go up like that. It's blurry because I got my background blurred right now. But it's like, how did you get comfortable? And then how did you make Derek comfortable? Because I know that Derek doesn't have that he does not want to be in front of the camera.
Right. So I would say for me, what people have to understand is like being in front of the camera and being natural. Like while some of it's a gift, it's just like everything else, which is it's learned skills. Like it's a skill set. Because I started speaking in front of crowds when I was like 13 years old. I literally got caught sneaking out of a house at like 13 and sold the cop on not like getting me in big trouble. So my parents just got a curfew ticket, and I literally talked myself out of that ticket to the judge. And he liked it so much that instead of making my parents pay the ticket, he put me on teen court. I was the prosecuting attorney at 13 or 14 years old for teen court in Bowie County. And I was getting up in front of a courtroom full of people, putting cases out in front of all of my peers. So I've been doing this for a long time. I went to college on a debate and oratory scholarship. I did cross-ex and Lincoln Douglas debate. Then I went to college. I wanted to be a sports agent, and I was a public administration, political science double major that was focusing on pre-law. Then I changed things over to television, radio, broadcast. Like, this is what I do. So first, I would say with finding your comfortability is it's a lot of steps to it, but the first thing that you have to do is you got to have some time into it. Don't think you're going to pop in front of the camera and just be comfortable. I was not always this comfortable. And then in terms of Derek plays a lot off of my energy. So I would also say that if you have someone that is a little bit more comfortable that you can work with putting out content and making videos, then like do it with them. Sit down, and instead of you just talking and speaking blankly into a camera, hoping that you're going to do well, have someone maybe ask you questions that you're comfortable with, that's going to make you laugh. Talk to them off camera, record it, and break it up into little clips. So it's a lot of different tips that you can do. And that's kind of what Derek and I do. He plays a lot off of me because he doesn't necessarily like being on camera. I'm only good because I've been doing this for like 20 years at this point.
That actually is like really good tactical as well. Like she's dropping a lot of really good tactical nuggets on the video thing. Because if you're like kind of in your head, like content creation in video, remember when we were like 2016 and we're like, video is the future. Doesn't that seem so silly now? I was like, yeah, I know. Right? Like we're doing this podcast right now. But like if you do struggle to kind of like be on camera, that response sort of mechanism where you're answering questions that have been answered or asked from off camera, it actually does make for way better content because it disarms you. It makes you like way more natural, takes the pressure off. I remember when I did, my last interview, it was in that format, and it flows like way better. Like that's just a good tactical thing to take away there if you're kind of in your head about creating content.
Or just go look at Mortgage Mike stuff. I mean, you want to talk about who's about to be a breakout star.
Mortgage actually Mike makes me LOL. I don't actually laugh out loud at content a lot. His
stuff's funny. His stuff's funny. He's been popping up on my Instagram.
Yeah, he's popping up everywhere. I don't know how much he's got. So much time right now, and I don't know where it seems like he has so much time because he's putting out like it feels like 4 to 5 reels a day.
Yeah, he's putting out a lot of content. But he's doing good stuff. I like it.
Yeah, mortgagemicrotexas.com. Go check him out on Instagram. Man, there's a lot here with that. Chauncey, where do you hope this goes? I don't think I've ever asked that question.
You haven't. The first thing is, and I'm gonna do a shameless plug here. The first thing is I'm really good at video. Again, I'm natural. You guys know kind of my story with it. And because of that, and I have so many people sending me their videos all the time, like, tell me what you think about this. I started a video community that literally is just dedicated to helping people understand how to do video. And I'm even using my television resources to help. We'll have producers come on. We have an acting coach coming on once a month. We've got videographers, photographers, everyone kind of coming on, editors, to really help you level up your video game and give you tactical instruction on how to do everything. So if you guys want to check out videoplug.com or videoplug.co, then you can check it out. It's a little monthly subscription that you can get some video help. And so I'm really wanting to grow that community. But more importantly, I'm wanting to dive more into television. I like TV. I really like it. Like, not like being the talent.
TV is cool, man. I'm a fan.
Not the talent though, y'all. What I figured out is that I really, really enjoy content creation, and creating a television show is just creating content on steroids. Like, it's the same concept where you're like taking something and, curating it in a way that's palatable for the consumer. And so I really like kind of the writing part and the producing part. And so I'm liking to learn more about it. Where that takes me, I don't know, but I definitely like kind of being in this space and really being able to bridge the gap between entrepreneurs, specifically real estate professionals, video, and now even television. So I got to figure out kind of where I can fit in with that. But I really just want to help like entrepreneurs and real estate folks like get better on camera and stop looking all awkward.
What would you do with us
Chauncey-
3 dudes then?
I was literally about to say, Chauncey, you got to pitch A&E. We got to do like a Big Brother spinoff where all of our businesses move into a 50,000 square foot mansion for 3 months. The property management company, zombie house flipping, family investments, good home team, Livy and DFW, and then we all try to survive and thrive and not kill each other. And we have to vote somebody off every week.
No, I'm gonna. I've been wanting to do this for years. I want to do a TMZ style real estate show where you've got the cameras up, and you got, like how he does those meetings, and then everyone's going around talking about a listing. Yeah. Maybe they're talking some shit about some agents. Maybe they're talking about great things. Maybe who got drunk at one of the events. I mean, how great would that be? And it's just so fun. TMZ Real Estate Dallas edition.
I like it. But no, I really do have a passion for like teaching people how to get comfortable and really be themselves, because I think that putting out good content and putting out good video comes from a comfortability within yourself more than it comes from anything else. And that's what I really like to help people try to focus on and figure out. So if there's some sort of way that I can use this exposure and leverage it to like help specifically real estate professionals and entrepreneurs like tap into themselves for that, like that's what I'm here for.
So they can go to videoplug.co. Mm-hmm. And, this is a breaking news announcement for us.
Yeah.
But not Jesse, to everyone else.
We didn't get the breaking news drop yet.
He can't hear me.
Jesse was getting like a dun-dun-dun.
He can't hear me. So you got to tell him. Supposedly.
That's a Jesse problem.
Yeah. Supposedly.
Jesse, we have breaking news.
Breaking news. Da-da-da.
We have this podcast, the only real estate podcast.
I'm so sorry. Before you give the breaking news, I just want you to keep the last 15 seconds in mind in regards to the quality of the content we put out in relation to the breaking news, because this just goes hand in hand.
I mean, I think they're going to maybe take this back, because we were named one of Inman's top 23 podcasts to listen to. Now, we do a golf clap. And all of the look, it's the fashion of what the Only Real Estate Podcast crew do. We just found out 2 days ago where Kelderman sends us this text. He's like, "Oh, this can't be right," because someone shouts us out. I think it was someone from the executive team at Livian was like, "Congratulations to the crew at the Only Real Estate Podcast worth listening to, one of Inman's top 23 podcasts to listen to." We're like, "No, that can't be right. You would think that we would have already known that." And so
I like that Nick and I thought it was not right for 2 separate reasons. Nick's like, "We would have known." I'm like, "There's no way."
No, there's no way.
Nobody in the group fought for us. Everyone unanimously agreed that it was a mistake. Nobody was like, "Well, maybe they heard us." Everybody was like, "That's just no way.
That's wrong."
Yeah. So we fact checked it, and this one is not fake news. That
link and everything.
Yeah, that there's a link to Inman's top 23 podcasts to listen to. There's some other great shows on there, and that article came out in September of 2020.
So for 6 months or 5 months, whatever.
I'll tell the short version. I told you guys off camera like how I found out about it, and then I saw it posted, and I was like, "Oh my god!" My inability to have an adult conversation to actually tell this person they may have made a mistake. It's like when somebody calls, it's like somebody will call me Mark, and I'll just answer to Mark, right? They gave the wrong information, but I didn't want to like make them look like they were wrong, so I just went with, and I saw them post it, and I was like, "Oh no, I've created a problem."
Well, congratulations, guys! You guys deserve it,
dude. I mean, realistically, it is pretty cool, the idea that like there is a list out there that other real estate people have decided needs to be like put together, and it involves Ryan Serhant, Tom Ferry, Pat Hyben, and then us. And I was trying so hard to say that without laughing. I still can't even do it. It's crazy.
Here's what I love about it is that we know that this actually is legit and real, because this isn't something where we blasted this out for votes. And we get all of our friends, families, and fake email addresses that we register to go vote for ourselves.
Yeah, it's not like Top Agent Magazine.
Yes, or you have to pay $2,500 to be featured.
Property
So no, congratulations, y'all. It's just fitting that we have Chauncey on this, and Chauncey, I mean, I can't wait for the next one. There's some coming out that I really am excited to see. Your designs, I mean, they're on point. I mean,
well, they're not my designs. All holy. Sarah Nowak Interiors is freaking amazing. You guys check her out. She's a local stager here in Dallas Fort Worth, but she also does a lot of these designs, collaborates with me. Like, she's really, really good. But yeah, we try to shake things up. We definitely don't like to keep it vanilla. And there will be an episode out this Saturday, A&E, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern. So check us out. And then again next Saturday. And then there will be a 6-week break before we have 3 more episodes because the other 2 teams will be airing at that time.
So I guess we have to watch those other ones or just wait till you come back?
Yes, of course. Watch the others. They're really good. Tampa and Orlando. But we're the only Texas team. So, Texas.
I'll say the Tampa crew. I like that. I like the dude. I like that dude.
Yeah, Dolmar. He's a really big, well-known wholesaler and does a lot of like wholesaling education.
So
a lot of people will probably recognize him.
Hook it up.
Yeah, drop the details. Let's get him on the show.
Absolutely.
We got real clout now. We're like on, some
I want to text. I got the in.
Yeah.
Text.
I mean,
Brad Inman personally vouched for us. Didn't you hear?
Yes. Brad Inman's article writer, who probably no longer works there.
That was the last straw.
He copy and pasted our description in a real estate article, and we are now people.
Yes.
And I'll leave it with this because Chauncey was touching on this earlier, and I fundamentally believe that Chauncey has put more active juice behind growing her brand. I will also say this award is a testament of what you can do by just putting an hour block on your calendar and looking forward to it every week.
Yeah. That really is the only thing we've done.
We've said this before, and I do not mean this to downgrade anybody who gets anything from this show because it's not me trying to big time anybody. But we literally show up every Wednesday, like coming up with something and caring about what we put out, but also like knowing that it will just kind of show up if we stay genuine, authentic, and consistent. And there's been, for us to get an award just because we show up every Wednesday at 3 p.m., I think is a testament that if you do something for an hour every week, even if you do it with no planning and for 5 years, something will happen. Something will happen.
Yes.
Maybe you'll get a real
freaking true, dude.
Telling you,
we get to interview TV stars. We don't get to be on it, but we get to interview them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
So go to videoplug.co. Is there anywhere else, Chauncey, that they can connect with you?
No, just go to videoplug.co and check it out. You guys follow me on all my socials. Just type in my name. I'll pop up somewhere. And love to help you out with any video struggles that you may have getting comfortable in front of the camera. And y'all support my damn show so I don't get canceled.
We got you. You ain't getting canceled. And Kristen Gruza has got the real life of property management. That needs to be a show.
Bro, we hook her up with Dana. That would be
good.
I'm going to tell you right now, Dana Wynn, homewarddfw.com, the best property management company here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Dana's working with some zombie houses. She's managing some zombie houses right now. So if Dana can manage those, she can manage your nice rental property at homewarddfw.com. Look her up, check her out, interview her. You're going to see why she's the best at what she does. And then, of course, Mortgage Mike of Texas, mortgagemikeoftexas.com. I think he also said the show that I was sick, y'all were talking about him. I think he said he's got Mortgage Mike of Oklahoma.
He does own that domain. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's in Oklahoma. So you go to mortgagemikeoftexas.com, go follow him online, go check out his Instagram reels. And then last but not least, our favorite person who runs into, who does he run into? Is it always DeBacker at Walmart?
It's usually DeBacker at Walmart, it seems like. They're always
Darren Smith.
It's not just Walmart, but
maybe other
they
places.
both live in the far north. There's only a Walmart there. It's a Walmart and like a Popeye's chicken.
It's a Walmart and a
like
Buc-ee's.
The only thing around there.
I think Walmart and Buc-ee's.
I said this to DeBacker the other day. I was like, dude, if you're trying to go to your friend's house and there's a Buc-ee's in between you and there, your friend lives too far away. This is just silly.
That's a fact.
But it does. Do you have to stop at Buc-ee's every time?
Yes.
Yeah, you got to use the bathroom.
No matter what, even if it's a 15-minute drive, you always got to stop at Buc-ee's and grab some food.
I'm with
Kelderman.
I'm out on Buc-ee's every time. I popped in one time. I was like, what in the hell am I doing in here?
I'm going to tell you.
I want a sandwich.
Yeah. We eat it for dinner sometimes.
Dude, I love Buc-ee's.
Yes.
You got multiple checkout
less-
lanes. I'm out.
Less is more, dude. They have like 9 different types of regular beef jerky. There doesn't need to be. There's too much going on.
Kelderman, they have the fastest checkout versus any.
It's
They've
so
got like 30 people checking people
I
out.
believe it, but it's everything else before I get to the checkout. I do not believe is incredibly fast. And
My kids literally ask for Buc-ee's for dinner sometimes.
I think
Just one less
this
amount
is a
around.
product of amazing marketing and providing an amazing client experience. There are just certain companies that deke us better than others into believing
That's
that
true.
they're not just a gas station, and Buc-ee's has just pulled it off.
They've
Mad
done it,
Boss.
dude. The mascot bit works. If you get a good mascot, that works. Also, just think about this side note really fast, right? Like to have a Buc-ee's, they're in like relatively really rural areas, and they're always really well staffed. You gotta think the whole town works there. It's crazy. They got so many employees, and there's like nothing around Buc-ee's. Like when a Buc-ee's shows up, everybody quits their job and just works at Buc-ee's. I think that's the
I've
only
got
way they
20 minutes
staff
to
those
HEB
places.
now, just to get HEB brand stuff. I don't know if it's
Exactly.
better, but they told me it was, and I believe it, and here we are.
I
Well,
was
so
walking
if
through
you shop at
the other
HEB,
day.
if you shop at HEB, you would definitely go to Buc-ee's.
I was
It goes
walking
hand
through
in hand.
HEB the other day, and lady stopped, and she was like, "I really like these HEB. They're like HEB Converse, like Chuck All Stars." Like that's how dialed in their branding is. They're $30, and you can buy some HEB Chucks. And I had to shut that shit down immediately. But that's like brand loyalty, dude.
Well, speaking of brand, because we left them out, we didn't finish it. Theron Smith, Armadillo Home Warranty. Get that hard shell protection on your house. Go to armadillo.1/tour, Tore. And he still owes, I think, Beth Silverman that shirt with the one page contract on it. So
I think she got it.
did she? I haven't seen
Ask
her rocking
her.
it yet. Have you seen
I'm
it
pretty
promoted?
sure he hand delivered it when she was here for your birthday.
Well, that's news to me. I partied hard that night.
We all did.
So, Chauncey, thanks for joining us. Go to videoplug.co. Just if you want to get to know Chauncey, just Google her, YouTube her. Go watch A&E, Zombie
There are
House
only
Flipping.
so many Chompies fans.
This
Chompies
Saturday, 10 or 11?
10 Central, 11 Eastern.
10 Central. Check it out. You're going to want to watch it. All right,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Kelderman?
Love y'all.
Hey, Jesse, Nick ended it. Turn the show off.
Bye.
Hey, thank you for watching. We truly appreciate it. Checking out another episode of the only real estate podcast worth listening to. If you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead, hit that share button, hit that like button, and hit the subscribe button. Right? We're dropping more stuff on YouTube constantly. If you're on iTunes, leave us a review, please. We're really, really focused on building up those reviews so we can get more searchable content on there. And if you're on Facebook, like everyone else is, go over and search the only real estate group worth being a part of. You're going to want to go join that group. I'm telling you right now, there's so much gold in there. So go join, share us on YouTube, and leave us that iTunes review. Please go do it right now. We'll see you on the next show.